Hello fellow collectors, and welcome to Stinger Diecast and another challenge video. This time the challenge is from Kibbo, and it is a moving parts challenge. So all the cars that will be shown will have some kind of moving part on them. I wasn't originally going to do this challenge because I'm not a huge fan of moving parts cars, but after watching a couple videos, one from XLT Off-Road Bear and one from Red Room Diecast, I decided I probably do have enough cars that are kind of sort of interesting, at least, that have moving parts, so I would give it a shot. So anyway, so I'm going to try to go through these fairly quickly. I think I have 15 or 16 cars that I'm going to show. Some of them are fairly common, but well, we'll see how it goes. So first up, from Racing Champions, we have a Mercury. I forget the year on this. I think it's a 49, and it doesn't, I don't think these say on the bottom, or if they do say, it's in such tiny print that I can't read it. Obviously the hood opens, you've got a nice engine inside there. You know, another big heavy monster of a car. Nice hood ornament there, and chrome grille, painted details. All right, we're not focusing. Why are we not focusing? Okay. Kind of interesting model. It's a little bit unusual cars of this era to have in diecast form, so pretty cool. Next up, we have this from Matchbox, this Ford pickup. I forget the year on this. Should have looked, but it's chrome, and I'm not going to be able to read it. 32. I was able to read it. I'm sure we've seen this one quite a few times. Opening doors, which are not going to cooperate with me. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Can't do it. Let's get some help. Well, anyway, that was way more effort than it was worth. But there you go, opening doors. This is a pretty cool little truck. There's a new one out right now in the collector's edition, which I had in my hand the other day and foolishly put it back, thinking I'd be easy, because it was the only one I was going to get at that store, and I was like, I'll get it later. And then I haven't found it again since. So if you find something you want, you got to buy it. I should know that by now. Next up, we have a Datsun. This is from Greenlight, Datsun 510 in a Japanese taxi livery. This is a very cool, very tiny little model. I mean, you can compare this to this Mercury. It's a wee little thing there. And it has an opening hood with a pretty nice engine in there. And love this model. Kind of like taxis. I've been resisting trying to just collect taxis, or because I already have enough things I collect. Next up, we have an M2. This is a stereotypical M2. So opening hood, opening doors, missing tire, other door doesn't really want to open. M2, your quality is just terrible. It's a cool car though. I was super happy to find this. I thought it was really cool. It's a Nomad panel van. I should have used it in the last challenge, now that I think about it. But man, tire was not even in the package. Next up, from Majorette, we have a Land Rover in gendarmerie livery. Hopefully I said that right. French police, and this one has an opening hood. Very cool. Love Land Rovers. I collect Land Rovers, so I've been trying to get all of these that I can find, which there aren't a whole lot of them that exist in the US, but I did find this one in a local collectibles shop. Cool. Next up, we have from Tomica. This is a Land Cruiser, which is way out of scale. It's very small. I think it says it's 171 scale, not even close to 164. Has opening doors. And then it's a JAF, which is the Japan Automotive Force, which is kind of like AAA in the U.S., but they also sanction motorsports events in Japan. But if you need roadside assistance or whatever when you're in Japan, these are the guys you call, and then one of these trucks will come and help you. So, kind of cool. Next up from Matchbox. This is definitely in the category, I feel, Matchbox with their moving parts is very hit or miss. This one, though, I actually really like. This one's very cool. Lamborghini Centenario, and it has the scissor doors, which is actually pretty slick, and it not too big on panel gaps. It actually looks quite nice. So this is definitely, if you saw my Matchbox, the best and worst of Matchbox video, this is definitely in the best category from my perspective. Next up from Tomica Premium, we have a Ferrari F40, and it's a very cool little model. Not quite up to the standards of the ones you get from Tomica Limited Vintage, but still nice and a heck of a lot cheaper. And this one has the very cool opening rear hatch which exposes the engine. But it's also an example of why I'm not super enthused with moving parts, because the gaps are, especially, are not great. See around here, it's just, anyway. Moving parts. Another one that's an example of why I'm not a huge fan of moving parts. These doors don't sit very well, but this is an era car, Nissan Gtr R35, and it has opening doors. It's a really nice model. If you can look inside here, this is a right-hand drive, so the interior is quite nice. Two-tone seats and full detail. It's not going to focus. Full detail steering wheel and everything. It's a pretty good model. I mean, and I suppose you couldn't see in there very well if you didn't have opening doors, but the opening doors definitely let this model down. But I don't know. Era cars are pretty nice. I have a few more to open and get into the collection in upcoming video. Then we have another Majorette, another GTR R35, again opening doors. Majorettes are a little bit large. This one's a 162 scale, and this one is a left-hand drive. Decent interior too, but it's all just black plastic. So very cool. Majorette does a good job with their opening parts. Even though there's still still a gap here, it's not nearly as bad as some of the other brands, so I don't mind them. I mean, I actually am a huge fan of Majorette, even though it's hard to get them here. This is one that they bring into the U.S. market, so you might actually find this at Target or Hobby Lobby. Quickly, here's another one. Same car, same deal. Opening doors. This is probably the most common GTR in the U.S. market right now, or at least the Majorette GTRs. These have been relatively easy to find, but it's cool. Next up from Tomica, another Tomica Basic, Mazda CX-5. This is the car my wife drives. Red Mazda CX-5, and this one has an opening rear hatch. It's your typical Tomica Basic, always let down by their wheels, but it's an okay model. Another Tomica, another GTR, this one an R34. This is a Tomica Premium, so it's got car-specific wheels, unlike the generic wheels that you get on Tomica Basics. And again, opening doors, right-hand drive on this one. Not much of an interior, though. That steering wheel looks terrible. the doors close nice. So yeah, door gaps are not great on this one. But next one, Majorette. Love these Porsches. They are a little bad. See these gaps, not great, but you get the opening hood or frunk or whatever you want to call it. Opening doors. The doors aren't too bad. The doors look okay. This is the thing that always lets this particular casting down. But get your surfboard on the top. Technically, that's a moving part as well because it does come off. But I still love this casting, even with these gaps. There's just something about it. Love it. Then from Greenlight, we get a twofer with this one. This is a Ford hauler, like their version of a team transport, with a Mercury Cougar Trans Am car. I mean, I love this car. This is a Parnelli Jones was a driver of this one, and so the moving parts on this are, you get the hood, you get the little thingies in the back that allow you to drive the car up and down, and then on the car itself you have an opening hood with a pretty nice engine in it. Greenlight does a good job on their opening parts for the most part. The panel gaps are not bad at all, even on the hoods. It's really not that bad compared to like this one. I wasn't going to show this, but I do want to show it because we're talking about hood panel gaps. This Auto World Suburban, which I love. I think this is such a cool casting, but it just has this terrible gap here that it's not as bad on this one, I think, but this other one, it just, there's this huge gap. It's the same style as this one, but this just looks way better. But anyway, so you get two extra ones there, these cool Auto World Suburbans. Still love them, even if they're let down a little bit by that gap. So you just got to make sure you look at them from the right angle. You know, if you look at them like this, they look really cool, or, you know, from this angle. Actually, that angle kind of highlights it. Yeah, it's got to be this front 3/4 view. So, and then the last one, I wanted to include a Hot Wheels. I realized I don't really have a whole lot of Hot Wheels that have moving parts, since I've started collecting relatively recently. And I don't do the RLC stuff, so, but this one has a little ramp that does slide back and forth, and I believe if you put it, yeah, you can't tilt it, and then it falls off. But all right, anyway, so there's your Hot Wheels. Love this little Porsche 356 casting, and this truck's pretty cool too. Little Volkswagen hauler and little Porsche. So there you go. That's my attempt at moving parts challenge. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment with whatever your favorite is, and see you next time.